All right, here we go.
All right.
Frank, what did we just say?
Oh, boy. So that was a treat and a surprise.
The name was?
We just saw They Will Kill You.
They Will Kill You.
And almost should have rewatched the trailer, because the trailer, it was, like I said, it was a surprise. So you know it's some kind of revenge movie from the trailer, right?
Yeah.
They kind of just tell you there's a hotel and they hire people.
And she's trapped.
And then she's trapped and she's going to be a sacrifice.
And she's fighting her way out.
But, oh my.
Well, I didn't expect it to go right into it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I mean,
yeah. So the first thing I want to, I think I'll say thumbs up, go see this movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I would also say that
as long as gore doesn't bother you,
it's very violent.
It's violent and gory.
Oh yeah, and so there's that. I think we were just saying with the other people we were with, it does have like Kill Bill, super violent. I got like Saturday afternoon kung fu movies. Did they have those on Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Fox Channel 5 had they would have those cheap Chinese movies that were awesome that we loved as kids.
I'm pretty sure this is one of those movies you just don't need to think about too much.
You don't need to think about, and this is a rare occasion where actually what I would recommend is, if you haven't seen it, unless you really don't care, it might actually be better going in blind and enjoy how the movie unfolds.
Well, and I got to say, when we went in, I'd forgotten what we were. I mean, I'd forgotten what we were seeing. I'd forgotten the trailer, and it wasn't until we saw her on the screen, I'm like, oh, okay.
I would even say this was not a movie I was excited about. So this was a treat. The preview, the trailer didn't make me excited about this movie, but like I said, I'll go ahead and give this an 8.
Yeah, it just goes to show the secret is go in with low expectations and you can't be disappointed.
So now I think we'll give a hard cutoff to spoilers, right?
Yeah,
so we could actually talk about
go see
aspects of it.
Yeah, go see it, bloody and gory, blah, blah, blah.
I would actually recommend for this one, if you want to come back and listen after you've seen it, that's what I would recommend. So I would stop here if you haven't seen it. Now, then we'll start talking about it.
Yeah.
So really, again, really surprising movie. And it's another one of those movies that, you get right into it. Right?
Yeah. No, she shows up in the hotel.
Well,
you get a little bit of a backstory.
A little bit of a backstory. And that's what I really liked, is as the movie progresses,
the flashback
and there was no, it was almost, for me, as I was curious about something, they revealed what was going on.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Like I said, it was a little jolting for me, is that, she showed up to be one of the maids or whatever. They put her in a room, and then they don't waste no time.
No time at all.
They don't waste no time.
Immediately creeping. You know something's up.
She's immediately kicking ass and taking names.
Oh, and that was good. But the real twist is, so she's there to save her sister that she lost contact with 10 years before.
Right.
But she's been in prison. Right. Which explains why she can kick the shit out of everybody. Yeah. Although she doesn't. She spent a lot of the movie getting her ass kicked, too. So it was, it keeps
which, quite frankly, those... And this is... Go ahead.
Oh, no. If you
I was going to say, this is the thing that took me out, and again, you got to suspend disbelief in these movies anyway.
100%.
But still, what took me out of this is, she was getting these fatal wounds. And just going right on.
In the back.
The screwdriver in the back was the first. And then slicing her hand fucking in half.
But it's like, you're done.
And then she's just going around with just a little...
a wrap around her. You're just blood everywhere.
And she literally had sliced her hand vertically in two.
This is a case of, this is the right way, it's so bad it's good.
Yeah.
Because they just established that. So the big twist is, So it's a building dedicated to Satan.
Yeah.
And they have to sacrifice someone. They didn't say how often, but I think it was once a year, whatever. But everybody in the hotel has been granted immortality.
Yeah. Not only immortality, but regenerative.
Regenerative. So, and that's the initial thing is, all right, so she goes to this hotel, something's up. They kind of make, when she has her suitcase, you hear stuff. So you're like, okay, we know something's up. She's like prepared, but she's sleeping, and then they sneak into her room.
The first guy, I guess, is going to rape her.
I guess
he's going to rape her. I guess.
Yeah. He's got the rag thing. Remember
the chloroform. Yeah.
What the hell's chloroform? What did you say? The rag thing?
Yeah, from Nick and right.
Mike and Nick and Nick.
And Alice, yeah.
Okay, so she fights that guy off, and then 4 others are in the room. She has a shotgun on her and a sword, and she cuts them all up and kills them. Goes outside the room, and I guess that was Patricia Arquette.
Yeah.
I really didn't recognize her.
Yeah, that was her.
I thought it was that other actress. Anyway, it's not important. And then what you find out is, they all regenerate. So she's cut a limb off of each one of them. One of them she's cut the head off.
Yeah.
And he just walks out.
Walking out with his head under his arm.
And you're like, okay, wait a second. What the fuck is that? This is not what we expected.
Yeah, no, I did not expect that. No, I did not. Which though, for the counterpoint, she did not have that power. Because at first I thought it was going to be anybody in the building had regenerative powers, right? Which explained the screwdriver in the back and all that. But no,
she did not.
She did not have it.
I think they just leaned into the ridiculousness of her.
Yeah.
So, but great visuals. I said, I was entertained. Once you go past, okay, this movie is absurd, right? Mm-hmm. Even she's not. That wasn't a katana that would cut a head off like that, where the head then falls over and blood starts spurting out. Like I said, it's very gory.
The permanent takeaway from this movie is a whole new appreciation for the phrase, I'll keep an eye out for you.
Oh, for sure. She does. He's referring to, so of course it's this old building, and she goes into there's crawl space, and she's being chased, and she blows the one girl's head off.
With a shotgun.
Shotgun.
Disintegrates the girl's head.
That's when it comes out that, they can regenerate. And so at one point, just an eyeball and the optic nerve regenerates. And this thing is following her around.
Following around in the tunnel ways.
The building's dedicated to Satan. Every floor has a different thing. So they have a sex floor. So there were.
Yeah, we didn't get what all the floors were, but we definitely know.
I really was expecting that.
Since we're an explicit podcast, we can say fuck.
That's right. Yeah,
there was a fuck floor. And I don't know what other. They said there were a floor for each vice or something like that.
So that's what I was looking at the beginning, because I was expecting it to have 13 floors, but I guess it had 9.
Yeah, I didn't.
And that might be for each of the 9 circles of hell, right? Because there's 7 deadly sins. So you have the first floor.
Dude, you're going down the logic path that this movie did.
Right, and okay. This is a couple things I want to mention, because I was really into the paranormal when I was a teenager, and it really goes into I don't know if you know this, Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So Dan Aykroyd
is
he's legit into, I guess his grandfather was a spiritualist.
Okay.
And all of the stuff in Ghostbusters is fake.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of that. So you ever hear about spiritualism?
Yeah.
There was a whole thing with seances.
Okay. Yeah.
Arthur Conan Doyle, who made Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes. Yeah.
He was huge. So spiritualism was a movement, really came out of the Civil War, and there was so much death around, and really people were just hoping they could contact their dead. It's a popular thing now. Anyway.
So what else are we going to say about this movie?
This is the part I wanted, because I was thinking about this. So now, what would make the movie better? Right? So when we've been talking about starting this podcast, one of the ones we really wanted to talk about, and we should still do it, is Sinners.
Yeah, we'll come back.
We'll come to that. But so for this, okay, the part that, and I'm not going to say bother me. Like I said, is I enjoyed it. You have the evil, the sister. It turns out that the sister she found her way, right? They had an abusive father or stepfather. Yeah. I guess they called him dad.
Yeah, they called him dad, but I'm pretty sure
I really thought he
adopted dad
was
or
molesting her,
or
but I guess they stayed away from that.
Yeah.
And he really was just abusive.
Physically abusive at least.
Yeah, beating them up. Which is how the movie starts out. They're
starts
trying to get away from him.
He almost catches them. She shoots him in the chest.
And she ends up in prison.
And she winds up in prison for it.
So what you find out is, he survives. She's in prison. The younger sister stays with him. And then she just has a terrible life.
Right.
He dies, which you find out in the movie, from cancer 2 years before the events of this. And she was working a terrible job, but she found... It's called the Virgil?
The Virgil, yeah.
The Virgil.
She applied for a job at the Virgil. Then they wind up making a deal with her.
They make a deal with her. And it turns out that she set up... So that's how... We didn't say this part. Yeah. That's how she gets to the hotel, is she takes another girl's identity. Well, it turns out the sister knew that girl, and it was going to make her the sacrifice.
Right, yeah.
So...
In order to get on the list... It turns out you can start out as help, but you can work your way up. And so the lady that's running the place, actually, I guess it started out as help to begin with.
It was built in 1923, and then they had a whole thing about the rich, and they never followed through with that. So that was part of the problem, right?
Yeah.
Is they kind of just said that, right? Like at the very beginning,
they mentioned that these people have a lot of money.
Well, they keep going back to that.
Poor people who give their money to rich people or something.
The devil laughs.
Yeah, devil laughs.
That was the quote. Okay, so let's maybe...
Which immediately put me in the mind of what's going on in the world today.
Right, well...
I thought they were going somewhere else with that, and then
Yeah, I would just, if I would make this movie, the true evil would be the Federal Reserve, but we can talk about that.
Jesus Christ.
Well, fractional reserve banking is definitely evil. You need sound money.
You mentioned Sinners, but I will tell you this. I like this movie better than Sinners.
Oh, I did too. I agree with you. But
it's controversial.
No. Well, it is controversial, and I didn't pay attention to the Oscars this year, but Sinners
was nominated for like 14 or 15, a record number, and I think they won 4. Yeah. So
let's do an episode.
Let's not talk about Sinners, but we will say we both like this movie better than Sinners.
Yeah, I was in, because you know why? It's entertained the entire time.
It's consistent with its own universe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So this is where I would improve it, though. Okay. So the key part is right at the end. They have this pig head on a stick, and everybody's name is written on it. And whoever's name is written on it is immortal. Mm-hmm. And they have to follow the rules, and they have to sacrifice somebody every year, and that allows them to be, and they'll come back from anything. The guy literally said it. You could cut them into 1,000 pieces, and they'll regenerate.
One cell. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, but what the key part of the movie is the two sisters. They're brought there, and they've also been helped out by the husband of the main villain.
Right.
Which it would have been much better if because it was a lot of the maids were going after her. They really could have, this might be where Ready or Not does it better, because it's the elite. If you want to go to the elites, like, make it all the elites. Yeah. This muddled that message, because and maybe that would be I didn't get this, but that's the part of it too, right? We have a system where you have this was the Occupy Wall Street, the 1%, right? But a lot of people support that for their scraps. And I would actually, so I'm liking this already better, right? Because that's a part that there's that statement, right? For evil to succeed, good men have to do nothing. Mm-hmm. And that they could have leaned into that, right? So that was a big part of the movie, is the husband, who was also involved since the beginning of this. He's been immortal. He's been alive for 100 years. He feels guilty. He doesn't like it anymore. He has
changed his mind over time. He has evolved over time.
He's decided to help.
And so he's trying to, he's behind the scenes.
So this would go and you let me know if you we've been talking a lot already, but I'd like to pull on this thread a little bit. This is like, and we'll go back to Star Wars, the redemption of Darth Vader, right? Literally space Hitler.
Yeah.
Can that this might go into theology, right? Can anyone be redeemed?
Right.
Okay, so in this movie, to say it, like I said, to make it better, the guy at the end that picks him up in the car,
Yeah.
I was expecting him to be an angel.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, that's right there at the end. That's what I thought was going to happen.
I would have liked.
Yeah.
So you have the evil. Mm-hmm. I would have liked some part in there to show grace.
Yeah, I thought that's how. We didn't
God.
mention, but the sister the younger sister sacrifices herself and makes her sister immortal, so her sister can kick ass.
Yeah.
So ultimately, her sister defeats everybody, including the pig.
And then burns the pig head, and that causes everyone else to die.
Everybody becomes mortal, and everybody dies. And so she gets out, and she walks out carrying her dead sister, in her arms. And all of a sudden, there's the dude. I don't even know what he is. Is he a parole officer?
No,
is he hired? Or
he
hired? Lawyer,
like
whatever.
He's a private.
But he's standing out there next to his car, and I'm immediately thinking angel.
Right.
At this point,
right.
I'm thinking because the sister's dead.
A few tweaks, and this could have really been. No, like I said, we both enjoyed it.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
But that's, I was expecting some part there.
I was thinking, he maybe was an angel who had sent her in there to do what she did, and then come out and he's going to resurrect the sister.
Anything. Right.
I thought that was the way it was going.
I'm going to go totally off reservation here, and we didn't get to watch it because it was at a theater. Pulp Fiction. Do you know the theory of Pulp Fiction?
No, it had been too long.
Oh, okay. So remember the suitcase?
Yeah.
So this was a thing back in the day online, that suitcase that they're recovering for Marcellus Wallace, and it glows, was his soul.
Yeah. Okay.
So and those guys at the apartment that John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson, those were devils that were selling his soul back. He had sold his soul to the devil. Those guys
make the connection now. Where are we?
So the connection is the guy comes out of the bathroom and he blasts away, and he misses them completely, and they get to kill him. And the part of it there is now, no matter how vile, no matter how evil these two men are, an angel saved them, because anybody can be redeemed, right? That's the whole part of
and so how's
Jesus
that
Christ.
Where we are now, though?
Oh, well, okay. So that would be exactly it, right? That part there, and just go into Pulp Fiction, right? One guy changes his life. He's like, that shit shouldn't have happened. Right? I'm done. He decides that he's no longer gonna be a hitman. Like, that was some biblical shit. I like those when they have that lesson there.
Yeah. So you're saying that the husband should have been redeemed somehow?
Or anything.
Instead of them just killing him right off.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And it would have been even better. So we'll do our next one on The Mummy. But The Mummy 2 had that. You watched both of them?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. We'll talk about that at The Mummy. I'm going to come back. Remind me to say, hey, talk about that. But that's what would have improved it, right?
Okay.
With the existence of evil and the devil, and they're doing all this, like, why is anybody, like, if you the big question I think we have, right, in our lives, is there an afterlife? Right? Well, if I get some kind of evidence that the devil exists, I have a lot more faith that the God exists, and I'm not going to be a devil worshiper.
Yin and yang, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So the point being, this movie ignored that there could be an opposite side.
Right.
It just leaned into there was the devil thing. The whole
and
they
established that, and like I said,
immortal, blah blah blah. So I too, like you, I think it would have made it just that much better if the lawyer or whoever he was wound up being an angel and sent her in there. And
it was the actor. If you've watched the new Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix, he plays he plays a private investigator for the Lincoln lawyer.
All right,
It's that
so-
same. I can't remember his name. McFadden, I think.
So what
Something.
what else is there to say about?
No, I think we beat this
covered it.
horse.
We beat it. Well, I think
We
have.
chopped the head off that demon pig.
Yeah, we're immortal now. This podcast makes it seem like we're immortal. If you've listened to it this far, then you're probably going to be looking in the basement for a pig head.
Well, there, like I said, is in the end it was entertaining.
Yeah, and
it was different.
So we'll wrap it up. And the one thing I'll say is, because we never do this, if you've made it this far, and God knows, who knows why you would. I guess it's because we made this deal with Satan, and so here you
Not
are.
I, sir.
Yeah. So if you've made it this far, give us a like, give us a follow, right? Because it helps.
Appreciate it.
It helps promote us within the ecosystem of podcasts.
Like, comment,
right?
and subscribe.
Yeah. So Old Nerd Genius everywhere on all the platforms. So find us. Other than that, I think we'll wrap it up.
Very good.
All right.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.